This is the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us by the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show on October the 11th, 2013. Our time is 8:49 in the morning Mountain. Happy Thanksgiving. We're on this Thanksgiving long weekend. Happy Thanksgiving. And for those listening around the world, it's Thanksgiving in Canada. Have a little pumpkin pie along with us. Our radio show is on your favorite radio stations, also archived on Harold's websites, HESradio.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. We have a podcast through iTunes. Go to iTunes, type in World Financial Report on Radio. You can take our radio show anywhere you go, listen anytime you want. Harold does daily market commentary on his websites, and you can find it on the podcast site as well. As we start taping today's show, it looked this week as if there was going to be a nuclear war between the Republicans and the Democrats in the United States over the government shutdown and the debt ceiling. And then on Thursday, you had a scenario where they were talking about maybe a 6-week extension for the debt ceiling. And then U.S. President Obama said, well, let's try and get the workers back, the government workers back on the shutdown. They continue to negotiate. As we tape this show on Friday morning, they still negotiate the government shutdown and the debt ceiling. We're seeing a lot of volatility in the hard asset market as we predicted. Later on in the show, we'll talk about diamonds. A white diamond sold for a record amount, and Sotheby's had a sale in Hong Kong, and the prices for colored diamonds were simply outstanding. But Harold, for us in the hard asset market, a lot of what we're seeing is very counterintuitive to what really should be happening. You have a government shutdown. They're going to be raising the debt ceiling. They will be spending more money and printing money, as Janet Yellen is more than likely going to continue what Ben Bernanke did. That is all a very strong positive for gold and silver in the long run. But short term, we're seeing that volatility.
We certainly are, and I know it's extremely confusing and frustrating for many of us out there, myself included, because, again, you're seeing things done in the market that just really don't make any sense. I've been in this business for 35 years, and I've seen similar situations, but nothing as extreme as what appears to be going on at this point. First of all, you've got the U.S. government shut down for over a week now. I mean, if that in itself is not the most negative thing for the stock market you could ever possibly see, 800,000 government employees are on furlough. They're not working. One of the reasons why the government shut down is that there's no money. In fact, in the next week, the debt ceiling situation comes up. The U.S. owes $17 trillion, and if they don't extend that to loan them more money, then the U.S. government can't pay their bills. So how in the world is that positive for the U.S. economy and stock market? That's a head-scratcher. I'm sitting here going, as I'm sure many of us are, how in the world does the Dow Jones go up 350 points on Thursday when they didn't have a deal, just on the premise that they may have a deal? And then sure enough, the deal didn't go through on Thursday night. So now it's Friday, and the deal didn't go through. You should have seen the stock market give back maybe 100 points, 150, 200 to 350 points that went up. No, the Dow Jones is up another 20 points right now. So, again, does it make sense? Absolutely not. Do we feel that the markets are being played with and supported at this particular point? 100% we do. There's such a thing as a short-term trend and a long-term trend. And basically, the trend, as I've said many, many times on the show, the trend is your friend. The markets, even though they can be manipulated from time to time, they're always going to come back to where they should be technically. And the fact is that this is what I believe we're seeing at this point, is that over the short term, and I'm really talking over the last 2 years, because long-term trends can be 8, 10 years type of thing. Over the last 2 years, we've seen situations in the market happen. We saw gold go to $1,920 in 2011, and silver went to $50. And that was based on the fact that the U.S. dollar had dropped all the way down to the 72.5-cent level. So basically, as the U.S. dollar goes down, the gold and silver market goes up. It's like an action-reaction type of market. It's always been that way. So now We've got the U.S. dollar down to 80 cents, which is heavy support. Last week it broke 80 cents, and the market went down into the low 7900s, and gold should have rallied extremely heavily on that news. When it broke the 80-cent level and the dollar started to fall, we should have seen gold and silver really take off. But again, it didn't do it. So the fact is that Goldman Sachs, and we have this report, came out and told their investors to short the market, to get out of gold. And they do. So they sold off the gold market, which is why we're seeing the gold market sell off today. It's down $20. Goldman Sachs has done this many times before. In fact, Goldman Sachs put out a sell order on gold to all of their clients. Gold dropped $60 one day, $120 the next day, and then, according to these reports, Goldman Sachs went long the gold market, even though they're telling their clients to short it. So there's so many things that are going on. It's almost like the Wild West at this point. It's almost like the stock firms can do anything that they want. The government is so desperate they don't even care anymore. They're just trying to keep their heads above water. It's a bloodbath. It's a terrible situation that most people cannot figure out at this point. On one hand, you've got Wall Street, that is making money. On the other hand, you've got Main Street that is suffering tremendously. So there are short-term trends and long-term trends. I'm going to go back to that for a second. The short-term trend is disconfigured at this point. Again, because of the situations in the U.S. government shutting down and all this, you're seeing reactions to the markets that don't make any sense. But the long-term trend for gold and silver is still intact, and there's absolutely no way that I personally don't see gold and silver over the long-term trend going back up again. We've been in this trend now for just over 2 years where they've been playing with the markets. When gold hit $1,920 and silver hit $50, the exchanges where gold and silver are traded in New York made it so expensive to trade gold and silver that the speculators got out of the market. They forced the market from 1,900 down to 1,100. And they forced it down. It was not on the fundamentals of the market. So at this point, the market's back up to 1,267. I truly believe we've seen the bottom of the market below 1,200. The fact is that what's happening with the government right now is actually bullish for gold and silver. By the government shutting down, we should have seen gold and silver prices move substantially higher, but it didn't. On top of that, if they do come to a conclusion on this, which they will, there's no way in the world that they are not going to raise the debt ceiling, because it would be catastrophic for the U.S. economy and consequently the entire world economy, because most economies feed off of what the U.S. is doing. So the fact is that if they didn't raise the debt ceiling, the U.S. would lose its credit rating, which has already been downgraded. Number two, it couldn't pay its bills. That means the interest payments on the Treasury bills and on the loans to Japan and to China and to Russia and to everybody else that we borrowed money from, that the U.S. borrowed money from, they wouldn't be able to pay back those debts. That would be a major problem. Not only would the U.S. economy sink into the abyss, on top of that, it could cause a war. Because when you go to war and you don't pay China and you don't pay Japan, especially a communist country like China, there are going to be repercussions, and there's already been rhetoric talking about the fact how upset and concerned China is over the U.S. government shutting down. So again, we've got these devastating situations in the market. Most of them are extremely confusing. I get emails and calls from clients and listeners to the show scratching their head asking, why in the world are the markets now reacting to such negative news of the U.S. government shutting down? And the simple reason for that is because the government is so desperate that they control the markets at this point. It's really sick to see that we supposedly live in a free country with a free market and a free society, but the fact is that when the governments get in trouble, they're able to do whatever they want to right the ship in their own opinion. So again, as frustrating and confusing as the markets are at this particular point, the fact is if you own physical gold and silver along with other assets, you're going to be fine. The markets may have pulled back, but the fact is they haven't pulled back to a level that's going to plummet the market. So basically, I do believe that we've seen the bottom of the market back several months ago. And the fact is that if they do raise the debt ceiling, which they have to, otherwise the U.S. will go bankrupt, they are going to raise the debt ceiling. It means printing more money. that will have a positive effect on the gold market and a negative effect on the U.S. dollar. So the fact is, and in a perfect world, and if the markets are correct, once the U.S. dollar gets back down to 72.5 cents, which it will, then gold should be sitting at 1,900 like it was back in 2011. Now, the thing is that we're trading right now at about 12.67 in gold with the U.S. dollar at 80 cents. That means that if the U.S. dollar goes down to 78 cents, a 2-cent further drop, we should get about $100 to $150 rally in the gold market, and probably about a $2 to $3 rally in silver. The fact is that if the U.S. dollar goes down to 72.5 cents, we should really see gold back up to 1,900 and silver back up to $50, and that's where the market should actually be. So all in all, again, what we're seeing right now is just a lot of confusion in the market, a lot of emotions in the market, and in our reality, we shouldn't get emotional about the marketplace. We got to keep our heads about us, because when you get emotional, you tend to do the wrong thing. You acting out of emotion normally ends up with the wrong move. If you own physical gold and silver, you just want to hold it. Because the fact is that the economy is not good, and by the government shutting down and letting 800,000 people go, that is not good for the economy, because these people are not getting paid, so they're petrified now. They're not spending money. They're not going out to the movies. They're not going out for dinner or on vacation because they have no money, and they don't know when the government's going back to work. So, again, the government shutting down cannot be a good situation for the stock market, and it can only be a good situation over the longer term for the hard asset market, meaning gold and silver and those type of assets. So, again, I feel your pain. I feel it every day. I live, eat, and sleep and drink these markets. I've been in this business for 35 years, and when I see these type of things, it gets you angry. But on the other hand, you got to keep a level head about you, and you've got other people that are brilliant people that are in these markets that feel the exact same way as we do. It's not that misery loves company. They're scratching their head and they're saying the same thing. The way that the markets are reacting to these situations does not make any sense. And that's exactly what we're all going through at this point. So again, to the long-term listeners of our show, to the new listeners to our show, we've been in business 35 years. This show has been on for 13 years. We called several markets correctly. We were one of the first ones to ever recommend gold at $250 and rode it all the way up to $1,900. Do we sell our gold at $1,900? No. Because we still believe that gold is going to $3,500 to $5,000. In actual fact, I don't see any way that over the long term it's not going to hit those numbers, because by continuing to do what the U.S. government is doing, which is printing money and keeping interest rates low, it has to, over time, push the gold market up to these levels. So again, all I can say is that I have not sold any of my gold and silver. I still own all my physical gold and silver. It's put away, and I am not selling it, because I'm a firm believer that, number one, you need a hedge against what's coming, which is going to be again, further problems with the government, an extremely weak U.S. dollar, and massive inflation over the next 2, 3, 4 years. So why in the world do we want to sell our gold if the prospect for high inflation is still definitely on the table? And some of the most brilliant analysts in the world are saying the exact same thing as we are. So again, I know all I can tell you is what I'm doing myself. I'm totally 100% out of the stock market. I own no stocks and nothing risky at all. Now, some may say gold and silver is risky at this point. I don't look at it like that. Again, I'm not a trader. We're not trading in and out of the markets, buying and selling on a daily basis, trying to catch the highs and lows. That's risky. Owning physical gold and silver in an economy that is in the abyss is not a bad move. In actual fact, I believe it'll turn out to be one of the greatest trades that we've ever made. So I'm holding steady. I don't have any problem sleeping at night. The only thing is that, again, it's frustrating to see what the U.S. government is doing, and out of desperation that they have the right to do what they do in the market, and how a company like Goldman Sachs can start rumors, sell the market, then buy back their clients' positions themselves. It just isn't right. It just doesn't seem right that a company should be able to take the opposite side of a trade that they told their clients to do. So all in all, we have that article. If you want to read it, it's available for all of you to see. All in all, everything that's happening in the economy at this point is detrimental to the economy and going to be very, very bullish over the longer term for hard assets. So, Randy, I'm keeping my positions. I know most of my clients are doing the same. Again, I sympathize with everybody out there that gets frustrated by seeing this, but I think we're smart enough to understand and see what the writing is on the wall and see why this is happening. Again, desperate times bring on desperate measures, and these are the most desperate of times for the U.S. government. Let's face it, they're closed. The U.S. government has been closed for over a week and let 800,000 people go. If that's not desperate, I don't know what is, Randy.
I do agree with you. And people may remember a few weeks ago we mentioned on the show that J.P. Morgan pulled the same trick that Goldman Sachs did. Say, sell gold and silver, and yet they were secretly buying it on the side. We had that in our newsletter a few weeks back. Good quote this week from Peter Schiff. He says, in the end, it's the government that will shut the economy down. But the one thing they will never shut down is the printing press. Now, that is really bullish for gold, according to Peter Schiff. Harold recommends one company when it comes to investing in gold, silver, platinum, palladium. That is Worldwide Precious Metals out of Vancouver, a leading Canadian precious metals bullion dealer recommended by Harold for over 10 years. They are the experts to trust and work with in this very specialized market. You can connect with them at wwpmc.com or call 1-866-623-2002, wwpmc.com or 1-866-623-2002. Start your own precious metals investment account today. All gold is either allocated, wholesale, or premium, and they're there to help you maximize profit, minimize the risk. You will have instant liquidity in and out of the market with just a phone call, 24/7 online access. The metal can be stored on your behalf, insured to the full value of your investment. Ask about domestic or foreign storage and premium storage in specific coin and bar form. Stored metal is outside the banking system. And we'll explain here in a moment why that is so important. The metal can be delivered to your door, and Worldwide has access to the physical bullion you want to take physical possession of. Speak with them, wwpmc.com, 1-866-623-2002. And on the banking front, bank depositors, we knew that that was going to happen at some point, lost 47.5% of their money in Cyprus. The question is, could a bail-in happen in Canada? Worldwide Precious Metals is putting on an exclusive free seminar. Something like this would normally be $500 to $1,000. It's absolutely free. It's the shocking truth of the Canadian banking system. Tuesday, October 22nd, 6 p.m. at the Hilton Garden Inn in Toronto. Register now for this eye-opening financial seminar. Connect with them, 1-866-623-2002, or sign up online, wwpmc.com. They're going to be in Toronto October 21st through the 23rd, and they're offering free private information sessions on investing in the ultimate hard currency, gold and silver. And you can book your free personal session, 1-866-623-2002 or wwpmc.com. When you are there, speak with them about receiving our free weekly newsletter. We send it out via email free of charge every week. This week we have an outstanding newsletter all about the financial markets. You can spend 5-10 minutes going through it very quickly, or you can spend hours. It's really up to you. And one thing I should mention, Harold has an auction coming up, hsfineauctions.com, and Harold's other website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. He has an auction coming up October 21st, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain. And the reason it's important to mention that next Friday, Harold is going to be on Bloomberg, the 18th, on Money Moves with Deirdre Bolton. And he'll be on there talking about Rare Colored Diamonds, hsfineauctions.com, and we'll have some outstanding diamonds to take a look at. We should mention that you do not have to have that cable channel. You can watch it online. Obviously, we will send the video out to you later if you miss it, but you can watch it live. Just go to Bloomberg.com. You can watch it on any device, watch it on your computer, and you can see Harold live on Bloomberg for the second time that day. One of the interesting stories this week from our newsletter, Michael Pinto He is an economist and advocate for hard assets. He says the tremendous amount of outstanding debt, unchecked deficits, and intractable entitlement programs virtually guarantees the Fed will have to increase its monetization of treasuries to an even greater level than the already staggering $1 trillion annual pace. This increase in QE will shock market participants around the world. Ultimately, unfortunately, this means that the level of money supply in the asset bubbles will increase in an expedient manner over time. In this environment, those investors who hedge against inflation will be most rewarded, particularly those that are invested in physical gold and silver. David Stockman, who was in the Reagan administration, was part of doing budgets during the Reagan era, said this week, I do not know that when people lose confidence, he says, I do know that when people lose confidence in the government money and in the government state-run monetary regime, they will look for a safe haven. That was obviously gold in the 70s, when inflation was historically, in peacetime, never around more than 1% to 2%, suddenly shot up in the early and mid-70s into the double-digit range. That was shocking to the world then, and so there was a massive flight into gold as a form of protection or safety. I think this will eventually happen this time around as well. And David Stockman, he was interviewed by King World News, and he is very, very concerned about what's happening in the financial markets. He thinks that we could have a complete collapse. In fact, the story is this financial collapse will be catastrophic. And I encourage people to get our free weekly newsletter from Worldwide Precious Metals, 1-866-623-2002 or wwpmc.com. Harold, with what we're seeing, and we have about a minute left here, what we're seeing in the financial markets, the government shutdowns, the debt ceiling issue, a lot of people are saying we're on the precipice, and this is going to be the tipping point to us ultimately heading back to maybe a financial crisis event as we saw in 2008.
Well, it certainly looks like it. Again, it just keeps getting worse and worse. And I think all of us realize that when there's money issues, and obviously we're not the government, but as a family or as a business or whatever, when you have money issues, the stress level is extremely high. So I can imagine the stress level with the U.S. government right now is off the charts type of thing. And, you know, a lot of times things get done out of emotion instead out of logic, and I think that we could see some fireworks from this. I mean, again, it doesn't get any worse than, number one, the government shutting down, not having a budget for 6 years as long as he's been in office, and then you've got the debt ceiling coming up because the U.S. owes so much money they can't pay it back unless they print more. It can't be a good situation, Randy. So, again, I do agree. We've got to see an explosion in prices, and you never know when it's going to come, but it is coming soon. There's no doubt about that.
And you never want to get rid of your insurance policy, which is your hard assets. Gold, silver, platinum, palladium, diamonds. You want that in your portfolio at all times. Speak with Worldwide Precious Metals about their free seminars in Toronto, and in particular the one about the Canadian banking system put together by a person who's a brilliant accountant who spent many hours researching this. Definitely call them, be a part of the seminars, 1-866-623-2002, or sign up online at wwpmc.com. It was an outstanding week for diamonds as a white diamond sold for a record amount. We'll talk about it as the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall, continues right after this. Welcome back to the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show on October the 11th, 2013. It's the long weekend here in Canada, and we're celebrating Thanksgiving. For those that listen to our radio show around the world, feel free to have a slice of pumpkin pie and think about us as we celebrate Thanksgiving here in Canada. And we are very thankful to be Canadians. Not only myself, but I know Harold. He's very grateful to be a Canadian as well. Our radio show is on your favorite radio station. It's also archived on Harold's websites, hesradio.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. We have a podcast through iTunes. Type in World Financial Report on Radio. You can find us there. The shows, Harold obviously has them archived for you to listen to anytime you want. The radio show is portable. He does daily market commentary on his website. You can find it on the podcast site as well. Harold's websites for diamonds, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. His auction site is hsfineauctions.com. There's an auction coming up October 21st, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain. And we should mention quickly, too, that the company Harold recommends you use when it comes to investing in gold, silver, platinum, palladium, worldwide precious metals in Toronto with a free exclusive seminar, something like this worth $500 to $1,000. Normally, a high-level accountant has spent hours and hours going through the books of the Canadian banks and even countries around the world, and you will get an opportunity to hear the shocking truth. Tuesday, October 22nd, 6 o'clock at the Hilton Garden Inn by the airport. Register for this eye-opening financial seminar, 1-866-623-2002, or go online, wwpmc.com. They're in Toronto October 21st through the 23rd, and they'll be offering free private information sessions as well at that time about investing in the ultimate hard currency, gold and silver. Book your free personal information session, 1-866-623-2002 or wwpmc.com. It was an outstanding week for diamonds. Should get to our featured diamond of the week. This is just an absolutely stunning diamond, one of the most beautiful pink diamonds I think I've ever seen. It is a 0.62 carat emerald cut fancy deep pink Argyle, and it is absolutely stunning. You can see it on the website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, under the featured diamond of the week. You'll see the video of it going around and around. It is absolutely stunning. We should mention Harold will be on Bloomberg Television, and that's prior to the auction coming up on the 21st. He'll be on October the 18th, which is a Friday. He'll be on Money Moves with Deirdre Bolton. He was on once already, going back on Friday to talk about rare-colored diamonds, naturally fancy-colored diamonds, and the auction on the 21st. You can watch that online free of charge. Just go to Bloomberg.com. We will have video of it after the fact. The big story of the week, white diamond sells for a record $30.8 million at Sotheby's. A gemstone sold for $30.8 million, the most paid for a white diamond at auction, as most records tumbled at Sotheby's. And Harold, you've talked about D flawlesses for a long time. You brought them to our attention. The largest D color flawless type 2A diamond had been estimated to sell for $220 million, and that's Hong Kong and Hong Kong dollars. It was mined in South Africa. It surpassed the $26.7 million paid for an unmounted 101.73 carat pear-shaped D flawless color, type 2, once again, type 2A white stone at Christie's in Geneva on May the 15th. So here we have one record set for a D flawless, now another record set. Just very exciting news, and you were the first to bring those white D flawlesses to our attention.
Well, they are spectacular, and that diamond in particular is magnificent. In fact, it's perfect in every way. It is an absolutely magnificent diamond. Obviously, to get a diamond over 100 carats is nearly impossible. And to get one that's perfect in every way, because what that basically means is D means colorless. Internally flawless means that exactly the clarity grade is the highest that you can get. And then on top of that, it was perfect in polish and symmetry. So you're talking about an absolutely perfect diamond. Now, the fact that it's oval, it makes it look like it's almost the size of an egg. It was just absolutely stunning. And very seldom, obviously, does a diamond like that become available, but it sold for over $30 million U.S. And again, whoever bought that diamond has one of the world's greatest diamonds. We have a diamond over 100 carats that's a round, triple excellent D flawless, and those diamonds are extremely rare and very, very valuable. We carry D flawless diamonds starting at a carat and going up from there. These diamonds never ever decline in value because there's so few of them. And to get a perfect white diamond, they're at least 10 times the price of a normal white diamond. So the fact is that if you own a D flawless or could ever get a D flawless diamond, that's triple excellent, perfect in every way, you've got an asset that will go up by at least 15% a year, never ever decline in value, and is negative correlated to the stock market, meaning that if the Dow Jones plummets, this diamond will go up even more in value. They're extremely rare, very, very difficult to get, unless you're going to walk into a Harry Winston's or a Graff's or a big jewelry store in New York. Your chances of ever seeing one are slim to next to none. A normal jeweler would never ever see a flawless diamond, let alone a diamond that's triple excellent and perfect in every way. So we do carry those. We cut about 300 carats a year. They are the most sought-after white diamonds in the world, and again, it's obvious by what this particular diamond sold for. It sold for record prices. It was absolutely a sensational diamond. The featured diamond this week is an extremely rare pink diamond from the Argyle mine. Now, it's one of the best colors you can get. It's very, very close to being red, which is actually the most expensive of all diamonds. Red diamonds start at about $4 million a carat. That's how rare they are. And this diamond is very close to that in color, but nowhere close to that in price. The fact is, it's a very rare cut. It's an emerald cut, which is extremely rare. The color, as I mentioned, is one of the rarest and best colors you can get. And the sheer size of the diamond makes it extremely valuable, because the fact is that most pink Argyle diamonds are under a quarter carat. This is over a half a carat. It's a 0.62, which means that it's a very large Argyle pink diamond. These are the most concentrated form of wealth in the world. These are small diamonds that are worth an absolute fortune. Why are they a great investment? Number one, because they're so rare. They never ever decline in value. But the reason that they're a spectacular investment is that the mine that produces them, the Argyle mine in Western Australia, is about to close down. There will not be any more pink diamonds because this mine produces 95% of the world's supply, which is a very tiny number. There's hardly any. In fact, most people have never known anybody who owns a pink diamond. That's how rare these diamonds are. A diamond like this can increase 10 times what the prices are today when the mine shuts down because of supply and demand. The demand for these diamonds are extremely high, and the supplies are extremely low, and that's a recipe for much, much higher prices. So if you go on our website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, and look at the loose diamond section, you'll see all the different colors of diamonds that we have. So you're going to see the pink diamonds, and they come in several different colors of pinks. The deep and the vivid are the most expensive because the colors are most saturated. But the fancy pinks and the fancy intense pinks are also amazing diamonds, very, very beautiful, and are excellent investments. So we've invested very heavily in Argyle pinks for ourselves and for our clients. They're one of the best investments you can make. You know, we live in a world right now where, again, the U.S. government is in trouble. They've shut down for over a week. The debt ceiling is coming. The same scenarios are happening in other parts of the world as far as governments in trouble and going under. Nobody knows what the exact future is going to be for the currency markets, for the stock markets, for the commodity markets. Again, nobody's a fortune teller and can see exactly what the future is going to bring. We do know the track record of diamonds because diamonds don't trade on exchanges like gold and stocks and bonds and everything along that line. They are a hard asset. They're sold mostly through auction and private dealings, and that's exactly what we do. We have our own private clients all around the world that invest in these magnificent diamonds. They're not a short-term investment. You don't want to buy a diamond today and sell it a year from now. You won't make any money with it. But you hold on to a diamond for 10 years and see what the returns are going to be. I've mentioned this before on the show, but my wife's girlfriend inherited a pink diamond ring from her grandmother. Her grandmother bought it 50 years ago for $50,000. The diamond today is worth $4 million. We own the diamond from 2003 that was a 2-carat vivid pink Argyle that I paid $350,000 for. The diamond's upwards of $4 million now. So the longer you hold on to these diamonds, the more and more they go up. And as the economy gets worse and worse, these diamonds become even a better investment because if you look at what you're getting paid in the bank, you put your money in the bank, which is not necessarily a safe investment, as we all know what happened in the States and in Cyprus, but you're getting 1, 2, or maybe 3% at the most return on your money. That doesn't even cover the cost of inflation. But put a diamond in your portfolio, a deep flawless white will go up by 15% a year. An Argyle pink over the next 10 years can go up 1,000%. And yellow flawless diamonds, which we also carry and recommend very highly, they go up by 15 to 20% a year. In fact, for those that are disenchanted with their RSPs, you have your money in your retirement savings plans for the last 10 years, you haven't made a dime. Even though the market has come back, the fact is that most people are not showing any type of profits over the last 10 years putting money into stocks. But if you put $20,000 into a yellow flawless diamond, in 10 years from now, it's going to be worth about $80,000. Now, we recommend certain colored diamonds. Not all diamonds are investment quality diamonds. You got to be careful about that. Let us educate you. We have a historical price tracking system. We have a learning center that's almost finished that will be available for all of our listeners and clients. But what we also own is the secondary market to resell your diamonds. Nobody else has that. We own a company called 8 Seagull Fine Auctions, the only company of its kind, and we built it for our clients to sell their high-end assets like diamonds. And we're international. We're all over the world. The auction that we have coming up on the 21st is going to be mammoth. It's going to be one of the great auctions of all time. Last auction we had 17 Argyle pinks, and we had 2 Cartier diamond rings that were signed and an orange diamond ring, and everything sold within 1 hour. It was the most successful auction that we've ever had. And again, you have 20 diamonds up for sale, and in 1 hour, every single one of them sold. Many of them to our Canadian clients, but many to clients around the world, mostly in England, where their currencies are strongest. So if you look on our catalog, if you go to hsfineauctions.com and look at the catalog, you're going to see pieces that defy description. We have an 18-carat white gold Tiffany diamond ring estimated at $25,000. We have a Paloma Picasso Tiffany diamond ring. Paloma Picasso is Picasso's daughter. You could actually own a diamond ring designed by Picasso, his daughter, and in conjunction with Tiffany, and it's on our website. You can see the video and the GIA report, and that's estimated value is at $25,000. You've got a platinum Tiffany diamond pendant worth $28,000 that will take your breath away. Probably the star of the entire show is Oprah Winfrey's Argyle pink diamond necklace, and then her matching earrings valued at about $50,000 per set. Oprah Winfrey took 100 women to Australia 2 years ago. She gave each one of them an Oprah pink diamond necklace from the Argyle mine. Wait till you see the photographs of it. It'll take your breath away. They're so heavy and beautiful and in the shape of an O for Oprah. Again, how often do you get a chance to own anything like this? And then we have about the only set of matching earrings that were not given to the visitors, but again, it was made, and I was fortunate enough to be able to get a set of earrings to go with the necklace. They will be sold separately. There's a platinum Tiffany diamond necklace coming up for sale, estimated value $28,000. Listen to this. There's a platinum Tiffany 71-point princess cut, one of my favorite cuts, F-color, internally flawless diamond ring, valued at $35,000. Wait till you see the video on that. And then comes our Argyle pink diamonds. They're going to take your breath away. They're ridiculously beautiful, and they're very valuable. You know, you should buy these diamonds at auction at excellent prices and give them back to me in 10 years and let me sell them at a profit for you. There's a princess cut intense Argyle diamond ring. There's several loose diamonds that are Argyle pinks that are round, that are the rarest cut. There's a 37-point fancy intense purplish pink Argyle diamond ring valued at $80,000. There's a 51-point oval cut fancy and pink diamond pendant that is so magnificent. When you see the video of this, it's valued at $80,000. That diamond in 10 years from now will be a $400,000 or $500,000 diamond. There's a 55-point radiant cut, fancy deep orangey pink diamond valued at $90,000. There's a 56-point emerald cut, fancy intense orangey pink Argyle at $90,000. There's so many beautiful diamonds, and the biggest one of all is a 79-point emerald cut, fancy orangey pink Argyle diamond ring valued at $150,000. And all of these diamonds will sell next week. It's a week Monday, and it's at 8 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Mountain. It's an international auction. All you have to do is go to hsfineauctions.com, sign up for it. It's totally free of charge, and at exactly 8 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Mountain, I come on live and we sell every piece. It's not like an eBay site. It's the only site of its kind, and we built this for our clients to do extremely well. It's so exciting. And we've been working on something for the last year, and it's just finished and is now available. It's a new feature on our site. It's an automatic bidding system, meaning that if you cannot make the actual auction, you can now go on our site and you can put in a bid on any diamond that we have, and you can put in your own bids without you actually being there. This is also perfect for our international site where our clients from China, Australia, even from England, when it's 8 o'clock Eastern time, it's 1 o'clock in the morning in England, and not everybody can attend the auction. Now, anybody can bid on whatever they want by putting on an automated bid without even attending the auction. How phenomenal is that? We're the only company in the world that has that. So you can literally go on hsfineauctions.com. You can sign up. You can view the catalog. You can bid early if you want, if you're not going to be able to attend, or you can attend the auction from the comfort of your own home right on your laptop computer. You can be sitting in your home, in your living room, attending this auction. You're going to find it very, very exciting. Most people love it, and most people find it very addicting. Once you get involved, you can't stop bidding. It's that exciting, and there's some great deals out there, too. There's going to be some diamonds sold at phenomenal prices. So, again, I very highly recommend that you tune in to hsfineauctions.com this weekend, sign up for the free auction. You can either sit back and watch, or you can participate, and it's something that you're truly going to enjoy because, again, it's never been done before. It's the only company of its kind, and we're extremely proud of it. And everybody that has participated has not only done extremely well, but had a wonderful time doing so. So, again, we're very, very excited about this. hsfineauctions.com. We have our new feature. It's being promoted all over the world. And as Randy mentioned, on the 18th, I'm going to be on Bloomberg, which is an international news program. Normally the interviews are 2 or 3 minutes. My last interview was 8 minutes. They love our auction business, and they love what we brought on. Last time we brought on Elizabeth Taylor's 95-carat diamond necklace and her matching 22-carat earrings, and they sold the next day. So the fact is that we should see a huge increase in high net worth individuals from New York and all over the world that will start attending our auctions. And again, this is perfect for our clients that are going to want to sell their diamonds down the road. Now, the diamonds that are being put up are my personal diamonds. Nobody is selling diamonds at this point. Everybody's buying because of the state of the world economy. So the fact is that I've been a collector of diamonds for decades, and because of the success of the auction site, and we want to promote the auction site, these are actually my own personal diamonds that I've owned for the last decade, and I'm putting them up for auction for the simple reason that I want the auction site to become extremely popular and very profitable for everybody who uses it. So you could literally go on our auction site, you can buy a diamond, put it on your wife's finger, around her neck, enjoy the beauty of these magnificent pieces, and then give it back to me in the future and let us sell it for you. And we only get 10% of the profit only. If you deal through Christie's or Sotheby's, they can take 25 or 30%. We take 10% of the profit. So if we don't do well for you, we don't do well ourselves. But I've been in business 35 years. I know this business extremely well. This is something that our clients do extremely well at. It's a lot of fun. And instead of seeing your stock portfolios and your statements at the end of the month that sicken you, put something into a diamond and enjoy it, and then give it back and let us sell it for you down the road at a profit.
Connect with Harold, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Speak with him personally and privately. 1-800-432-1022, 1-800-432-1022, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. hsfineauctions.com is the website. Next auction, October 21st, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain. And Bloomberg, Harold's going to be on Bloomberg. Bloomberg is a financial channel that was started by the current mayor of New York City, Michael Bloomberg. And obviously his time is up. He will no longer be mayor. He's term limited out. But he was started by Michael Bloomberg. The website is bloomberg.com. Go there. You can click on Watch Live. In fact, I've watched Bloomberg Live on my smartphone. You can do it on an iPad, any portable device. You can watch it online on your personal PC computer, your desktop. So you don't need to have that channel. I have that channel at home personally, but you do not need that channel to watch Herald. And if you do miss it, we will have video at a later date. Get the newsletter from Herald this week. The information we have is absolutely stunning when it comes to the world of diamonds. Not only do we have our featured diamond, which is a 0.62 carat emerald cut fancy deep pink Argyle, one of the most beautiful diamonds I think we've ever featured. But we have the past interview with Herald on Bloomberg. We have information on that white diamond selling for a record $30.8 million at Sotheby's. We have other auction results from Sotheby's magnificent jewels and jadeite sale, which took place on October 7th, 2013 in Hong Kong. In fact, to give you an idea, this is one that really caught my attention. Lot 1930, light pink diamond and diamond ring from Cartier. The estimate on it was $600,000. It sold for $1.4 million. Lot 1917. And the estimate on this was a fine, fancy, vivid yellow diamond and diamond ring. The estimate, actually this is in Hong Kong dollars now, but this is in U.S. dollars, $838,000. It ended up selling for $1.1 million. Lot 1910, another yellow diamond, and the estimate on it, $619,000. It sold for $748,000. I'm not going to go through all of them. There are white diamonds, there are colored diamonds. Get the newsletter from Herald. Get the auction results from Herald. As well, we have stories this week on 2 other diamonds that are going to be selling at auction, and they are amazing. Sotheby's is going to be auctioning off a vivid pink diamond valued at more than $60 million. We heard about that. They're also going to be auctioning off an orange diamond that they think can go for $20 million. And there's a stunning necklace that is up for auction as well. You can see that in our newsletter. One of the most beautiful necklaces I think I've ever seen. Harold, we have approximately 3 minutes left in our show, but one thing we can say to people when it comes to HS Fine Auctions, you do not need to bid. If you just want to go and sort of be a spectator per se, go in, get comfortable, get a feel for things, just get an idea of how it all works. You do not have to bid. When you feel comfortable at that point, you can obviously pull the trigger. But this is going to be the biggest auction we have ever had, thanks to obviously you being on Bloomberg, but also the diversity of items that we have up for auction. This is the most diverse and stunning auction ever.
Well, thank you, Randy. I'm very, very excited about it. Again, I'm very proud of what we built. I think this is our biggest contribution to the diamond industry, is building the secondary market to resell diamonds, which was needed. You know, Christie's and Sotheby's can sell, $30 million diamonds, but the fact is there's a gigantic market for diamonds that are 10, 20, 50, 100,000, and nobody's ever addressed that before. And this is our 10th auction. We've sold a minimum of 90% of our diamonds on every single auction, which is almost unheard of. So we have great clients. They understand value. Again, this is something that we built not only for our clients to be able to buy diamonds at great prices, but also to be able to sell their diamonds down the road. And again, we're always working on it. We're always improving it and building it. And this new automated bidding system is exactly what it needed. Now we can have people from, again, different time zones actually placing their bids in the marketplace, even though they're not going to be there. So, Randy, I couldn't be more excited about what's going on in the diamond market. Even though the government seems to be falling apart, diamonds tend to be doing extremely well, and all I care about is that my clients do well in the market.
Happy Thanksgiving, Harold. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Thank you very much. It's my favorite day of the year. I'm a Canadian living in the United States, so I get to celebrate Thanksgiving twice. I want to wish all my friends and clients and everybody in Canada a very happy Thanksgiving weekend, a very happy Thanksgiving, and a very profitable day.
Thank you, Harold. We will talk to you next week. Don't forget, Harold on Bloomberg next Friday, Bloomberg.com, Bloomberg TV. He's on the TV show Money Moves with Deirdre Bolton, talking about rare colored diamonds and hsfineauctions.com. And the company Harold recommends you use when it comes to investing in gold and silver, worldwide precious metals. Connect with them, www.pmc.com, 1-866-623-2002. They have that free seminar Tuesday, October 22nd, 6 p.m. at the Hilton Garden Inn in Toronto. sign up for that. Call them and book your seat. As well, they have free private information sessions when they're in Toronto, October 21st through the 23rd. Speak with them about that as well. WWPMC.com, 1-866-623-2002. RareColoredDiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022. And HSFineAuctions.com. Next auction, October 21st. That's it. Another edition of the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall. We will talk to you next week.